Herzlich willkommen zu unserer 40. Podcast-Ausgabe Chat with Funky Space. Ja, ich heiße Sie herzlich willkommen. Im Hochsommer, mitten im Juli, neben mir sitzt meine liebe Kollegin Toni und mietet sich ein. Und es geht nur einige Momente, dann werde ich sie als Milady ansprechen. Ich bin heute ein bisschen, gespannt und gleichzeitig auch offen, was uns heute in dieser 40. Podcast-Ausgabe mitgeteilt wird. Es ist immer wieder eine Bezogenheit zur Weltsituation und auch das, denke ich, wird der Fall sein. Darum bitte ich auch, uns in den Kontext der Umstände einzubinden und auch die gesamte Erdsituation, aber insgesamt im Universellen, weil wir spüren alle, dass wir in Wandlung, in Verwandlung, teilweise in altem Auflösen und neuem, Gebären Prozess uns befinden. Sei es in den Kräften der Natur, die im Moment so stark zutage treten, in Hitze, Trockenheit, in Überschwemmungen, in Phänomenen wie, traurigen Phänomenen wie Flugzeugabstürzen, in politischer Hinsicht auf jeden Fall. Ja, all das bin ich gespannt, was uns heute gesagt wird, und ich spüre, es nähert sich. Milady ist so gut wie
Good afternoon.
Ja,
Good afternoon, Space Radio. Space Radio, I call it like that, so that you understand. Yes, that it is, you are on the frequency that you can receive. Yeah. That's what I want to say with it, you know. And talking about frequencies, we talked many times about frequencies. We talked many times about how frequencies are involving also daily life in and at your earth and on your earth, and what frequencies consider also to be transformed, the factor of transforming, what does that mean? And in your world, when something has to be transformed, you always expect the good thing. You always want to transform things for the better. You want to invent things for the better. You want to produce things for the better. You want always the better in everything. You want to go forward. You want to reach, new spheres, let me say it that way. You want to reach new communities. You want to be important. You just want to go forward in the meaning to grow. Yep. And to understand now what's happening in the world history is, and we spoke many times in different kinds of, that growing is not, I don't want to say it's not permitted in your world. Now it is the time to reflect and to resolve before it can change. And this is what you see everywhere in your world. You see that everywhere people, if they are governments or if they are the communication tools, if they are in commitments, if they are at working places, the thing is that one hand, we call it like that, one hand wants to grow, and the other hand says, no, first we have to talk about that, and then we have to talk about that, and then we consider and we look for going for a reasonable solution. So that growing is not what it goes on now. It is that you have really to stop to grow and to understand what's going on, to reflect on what's going on, and then to consider and to look for a solution. Growing is not always the solution for everything, you know.
Und nicht äußerlich nur.
Exactly, because what you have in your world is the growing in money, the growing in getting bigger, the growing in getting to get more influence into something. But you never grow internally, you never grow spiritually, you know. You want to grow, you put the newest production in fitness malls that you can grow into, get better muscles, you know. You just put everything into growing for something. But did you ever expect and really look at it, if you grow also spiritually, to understand what and where you are in as human beings? Nobody just really intended to understand this question. And if you are asking somebody, well, you have everything, but did you grow internally? People would look at you like, what does this question mean?
Yeah,
so it is not even to consider that you can ask something like that, a sentence like that, to human beings. So it is like, you have to look what I have in the outside, but don't even ask me what's going on in my inside.
Ja.
And now,
und wie ist die Verbindung
dazu? For sure, and yes, exactly. So now you have to understand that what is, and that's why we're talking about the growing inside, the growing internally, the growing spiritually. So consider that human beings in your world, when you call something spiritual, growing spiritually, it is something like, it has to do with a religion. It doesn't have to do with a religion. It has to do also with respecting, with understanding, with respecting nature.
Schön,
with with understanding what's going on in the world. A growing insight makes human beings wiser, and brings wisdom to human beings. So now in your world, what you think growing the best is, you consider having 4 degrees in a master in something, that you grow so perfectly that you understand the whole world. And at the end, you don't understand nothing. So this is, the influence which the external, the physical, the knowledge on what you have in your world wants to have to grow. And now the world is just bringing you very good examples that you have always to reflecting on what really needs to grow and what is not needed to grow, and where you have to put an eye on. So now you have so many in the past, and always you had it as planet Earth, but you have now much more, inputs from nature that you have to speak about it. But what these human beings are doing, human beings are considering that when nature just takes something away, you have just to put the same thing there again. So you don't consider the forces of nature. So it is now the question for you human beings, did you get wise in that, what nature told you? Or did you just ignore the signs and you're just getting into the same problem again?
Yeah.
So, to really have an impact in the meaning of what is the intention also of the world, what is the intention of the world's spirit, what is the intention of the world mathematics, and we talk always also about mathematics. Astrology, for example, cosmology is, the putting together of all informations, to know the informations and to react on these informations. And this is what human beings are not doing. They're just looking at the external things and looking that the external things are growing. And now you get in a conflict with that. So now you have wars, you have different wars, you will get more wars. You start to produce more bombs and weapons, and you think that, this is just a kind of, you're just putting yourself into war with your external living, but not with your internal living.
Yeah.
And this is the point which human beings have to reflect, because now it starts, and we talked also last time about it, that it starts now to you got now more conflicts also with your inner side, because not everybody, I need to say, unfortunately, but it comes and shows up, that to get into a new dimension, to get into peace, to get into a dimension where you understand the world, the conflicts are internal.
Richtig. Sie zu begreifen, sie zu ergreifen, ein Erlebnis in uns überhaupt zu initiieren, damit wir in diese Verwandlung, sprich auch in die Wandlung Ich mit mir eingehen kann. Sprich, dadurch fange ich ja an, auf eine veränderte Art und Weise zu interagieren mit der Umwelt.
Yes, exactly.
So, Sie richten den Blick wirklich in die tiefsten inneren Vorgänge, Geschehnisse, in eine Entwicklungsmöglichkeit, die uns hier inne liegt.
Exactly. And the thing is that the conflicts will be external from governments or from politics that you have in your world, or from organizations, because the conflict is the internal conflict with something which want to grow, you know, and with the external growing, which doesn't want that the internal is growing. So the conflict is, it is growing against growing, you know. So to understand that, and we talked also about that in our podcast, it is the balancing out of the problems. And now you get like forced in that you got as human beings, as population, into something that you understand what that means. Because right now you're still ignoring the internal growing. And the internal growing goes now very fast, and it's not asking human beings if you want or not. You really need to understand it like a very big lesson, like going 10 years to university and just got, 10 years university in one day. Let me say, you really need, this is what it's going fast. Because now what is happening in the outside, that that the conflict of the internal, now we have to stop that. Now we have just to do this differently. Now we have to stop the people is flying 20 times a year somewhere, It is like you just think in the external growing, and now it gets really, now you get like, now you get like the response of nature of all these problems. And now you need to act internally faster than you did in growing, in the last years. And internally. This is the point, this is the meaning point in what you need to do.
Ja, wir werden durch die äußeren Umstände werden wir gezwungen, hineingedrängt, durch die wirklich auch physische Umwelt, durch die Tatsachen, die jetzt auftreten, die jetzt präsent sind, ob das politische, ob das naturgegebener Art sei, ob das menschlicher Art sei, einer großen sozialen Ignoranz abstammenden Art sei. Es ist komplett gleichgültig. Es zwingt uns, weil wir nicht mehr wissen, damit umzugehen. Also wir fallen sonst in eine Ohnmacht. So verstehe ich sie. Und da zwingt es uns in unseren innersten Kern, in die Urweisheit zurück hineinzuhorchen, sich damit zu verbinden.
And you had everywhere in the world population which grow up for hundreds and hundreds of years with this wisdom of the internal growing, to understand what's going on in the outside because of the understanding of the internal growing. So then, let me say that organizations came up in your world, that there was the conflict of the internal growing, and the internal growing is not something which is lead from somebody or from an organization. Is the understanding and the commitment from every human being to and with nature. So this is something just like a and act from the human being with the intelligence of the nature and to understand it. But what was made, it was like you don't have to understand nature and the natural work. You just can see nature, but don't ask about it. Don't ask about the term of nature and what nature is doing, because it's not, that it's your work to do that.
Richtig.
And now, you have to understand the philosophy of nature. You have to understand how philosophy is working also in nature. And not only that, you have to have a degree in philosophy and to understand how people can be philosophers in your world without understanding the nature plan. And the nature plan is not, that the nature plan is not, let me say, it's not, I want to say very clear, it's not the natural plan, and the nature plan is not addicted to humans' reservation in business.
Ja. So, da fehlt eben nach Goethe gesagt leider nur das geistige Band.
Yes, and this is what will just show up. And now it is like a misunderstanding if you just show shows and you in the infamous, let me say, the infamous work of nature. Nature has the right to be like it is, and nature takes the right to be like it wants to be. And now it's not, that being let me say, wise in numbers and in degrees, that you can't just put nature into a frame. And this frame will just, it will, exactly, it will just broken up everywhere. And this is what's showing up. So now, the thing and the meaning when we talk to you human beings, we want to that you understand the thing how frequency are working, because frequency are information, and informations need to be transcribed, and the transcription of information is not what you learn in the degrees and with your degrees at universities. That you understand the whole thing. So now you can't just put another, let me say, what you are doing in your world, get another degree to understand it better. But if you don't have the internal grow, you will never understand it. And what's so easy to understand in all that? Listen to what nature is telling you, because now nature is, let me say, like it's like bombing out the information of natural speed and excess.
Ja, wie trefflich ausgedrückt. Eben wir haben einen Besitzanspruch an die Natur. Sei es mein Plätzchen auf Erden, welches ich besitze in Form von wirklich, ich habe dafür bezahlt, ich habe dafür gearbeitet, als auch was ich aus der Natur entnehme, sprich die Nahrung, die Erdschätze. Dass es ab und zu regnet, sage ich, da können wir leider immer noch nicht aufs Knöpfchen drücken, dass jetzt der Regen endlich von oben runterkommt, aber nur gemäßigt. Also wir haben eine Konsumhaltung.
Yes, that's what you're doing. That's the right explication of what you have in your world right now.
Richtig.
You want to consume nature, but nature doesn't make that game with you. So nature just says, well, stop, I'm not consumption. I'm not to be consumed. I am.
Richtig.
And now nature will be.
So
this is something which you need to understand, that focus on what is going on your natural plan, and think about it, what you're doing and in what you are confronting in. So what you have what was now in the last weeks, a little bit everywhere in your world, if you had fire or too much water, or if you had snow, or if you had cold weather, or if you had, you need to understand that in your world you're putting it as excess of human beings, a manner of living. On one hand, it's a yes. On the other hand, it was always like that. But 200 years ago and 5,000 years ago, there were no, no information. There was no information that something happened. It just happened, and it was like that. So
und es wurde auch nicht so verbreitet.
Well, 5,000 years ago, you didn't have TV, and you didn't have newspapers, and you didn't talk like that. It was just that you understand that nature is always working, if you like it or not, and it works wherever. And whatever it wants to do, it makes it.
So ist auch dieses haben wir gelernt zu ignorieren.
Yes,
nicht
and now
zu akzeptieren.
And now it is like, don't put yourself as human beings into light. That you want to do something better, you know, and I need to explain it that way. That you want to put something better in putting money into nature. Because you think that putting money and a name into nature, you make it safer. So this is not the point of it. Nature doesn't want to be named.
Oh ja, tun Sie das etwas näher erklären?
The conflicts in your world, and it is the internal and the external conflict, is that you want to explain to people that you have to put money into a solution for nature.
Yeah.
But if you understand the eternal plan of what and how nature consists in the world, if you understand the steps of nature, if you understand all the steps of nature, because you need to understand the step of nature in the northern hemisphere, you need to understand the step of nature in the southern hemisphere, you need to understand the step of nature in Europe, you need to understand it, in the seas, in the lakes, in the forests. If you understand that steps, you don't need to put money into that, because nature will just do whatever it wants. So you don't have to put a name into change something if you don't even understand what's the internal plan of nature.
Yeah,
and if you are connected with your internal plan, that you understand what an ant will tell you, what a fly will tell you, what an elephant will tell you, you don't need to put money into something, because you want to exceed with money. Just let everything be free like it want to be. This is nature.
Richtig. Und Natur ist lebendige Frequenz.
And it will always transform. Genau. So if you think to make
the sea like statisch, that,
exactly.
Es ist nicht haben.
Yes, exactly. And it's not the name of something. And that's what you're doing in your world. You want to consider and put people into consideration that with money you can save planet Earth. And this is something which you need to really go into your internal, let me say, stepping forward book and stepping forward knowledge, that you can understand that this is just the wrong way what you're doing, that you understand nature the different way, that you need to understand the frequency of nature to understand where the next explosive volcanic ashes will just come down, that you understand that this is not putting money into something.
Ja, richtig. Ja, wie schön herausgearbeitet. Welch wahres Wort, um das auch zu verstehen, weil wir hängen, wir kleben an unserem Verstand. Den haben wir in den letzten... So ist, den haben wir kultiviert, den haben wir gebildet. Und es ist uns ein wertvolles Instrumentarium geworden.
Yes.
Aber es gibt weit mehr. Und das ist das, was wir dürfen, es auch zu leben, zu spüren, eben diese gelebte Frequenz, die permanent um uns, in uns lebendig und wesenhaft ist.
And let me say that the frequencies we talked about, really these big volcanic ashes, and it will really deform many countries and many places in the world, because volcanic ashes is not only a delivery of something good, it is also the destroying that it can deliver to something good. And you need to understand that, if you have volcanic ashes in some parts, you will have also people fleeing and people get away from some parts. So those regions will be poor again or will be not be
belebt.
Exactly.
Überhaupt nicht. Das ist eine Mondlandschaft.
So you need to understand now that the transformation will go on in your world, and it's not that you can talk about money and open or close borders, because nature will also be a conflict zone for countries which think that they have a right to be or to say something.
Können Sie das etwas genauer ausdrücken?
Well, you understand your politically field into what the earth is giving you in nature. If it's oil, if it's silver, if it's this prime material. Now you get problems because the world is just turning the face. Yeah. And now you need to understand that you can't say I'm that and that country, and because these natural effects have just you grow into different problems.
Richtig.
And now and that's what I say. The internal conflicts in your world will be that you need to transform what you see in the outside and to understand nature. And when you understand nature, you understand that you don't need borders. That borders are a conflict zone for you because you made it. And this is something and this is something which you need to understand. That will be not honoring human beings.
Ja, das ist trefflich ausgedrückt.
Yes, I'm sorry to say, because the frequency are there for it. Yeah.
Oh ja, diese Grenzen quasi zu sprengen, weil auch dies etwas von Menschenhand Geschaffenes ist, welches aufzeigt, was gehört mir und was vielleicht gehört dir.
Yes.
Oder es grenzt zumindest ab.
Now nature is just telling you, look at it completely different, because you can talk, and we talked also many times already when we do podcasts, borders will be displaced.
Yeah, richtig.
And that's good.
Yeah.
And there will be less borders because you will understand nature, and you have to understand nature.
Ja,
because if no, you just go under with nature.
Ja, richtig.
As population also.
Ja, aber diese natürliche Notwendigkeit, die uns zeigt, dass wir ein Staubkorn sind, mit dem, was wir so wollen, wenn der Tag lang ist. Und so auch diese Grenzen, die ja wirklich haarscharf auch bewacht werden, als Eigenbesitz, zu uns gehörig. All dieser Besitzanspruch an die Erde als solches.
And now Earth is just, let me say, it is, you as human beings, you want to be perfect in something which you don't have the right to be perfect, because nature is imperfect, but it's perfect like it is. And the imperfect of nature just tell you, that you should also be imperfect in ignoring your own egoistic plans. And this is something which shows up now. It shows up everywhere. And you can put a fortune of money into all your registration and all your information tools and all your electronic tools, and you want to be the best in everything. And now with all this expecting, let me say, turbulences in frequency, they will ignore those signs. And you need to understand it also that things are happening without that somebody needs even to put something into a different into a different frequency in your world, because frequency is just putting things differently. Now you understand that nature is so imperfect that it's perfect.
Ja, richtig. Es ist ein ewiges Wunder, welches sich dort mit uns quasi in stetiger Kommunikation befindet. Wir sind ja auch ein Teil der Natur. Und dieses ewige Wunder. Es ist wirklich ein ewiges Wunder. Und dort, wenn ich Sie richtig verstehe, dort zwingt uns oder zur jetzigen Zeit bringt uns die Welt dort in diese Verdichtung hinein, wirklich auch diese...
And now very fast.
Ja,
also.
richtig. In diese innere Klärung, Läuterung und das bedeutet wirklich gleichzeitig, dass vieles herauskommt, was uns gar nicht angenehm ist.
Yes, exactly. And it's not time to drink tea now, you know. Really, I need to say it's like really, it's not time to drink tea. So now, you know, you consider you have in some parts in your world, you have summer in some parts, you have winter. Now you just are thinking that this and this it's just to be done during summertime and this is just to be done in wintertime. So you are just like putting again, you know, the external, it is external, looking at something into something which is beneficial for you in the egoistic way.
Yeah,
and if you are going and turn the, let me say, the world clock back during the periods of summer, people worked so hard that they had, let me say, a winter where they had food and they could survive. And now you're doing completely the contrary. So now it is like saying, okay, what we learned about it, you know. It's not time to drink tea, I just tell you. It's really time now to focus on the internal. It's like having an internal agreement with nature. This is very important. Have an internal agreement with nature. Have an internal, just to let go these internal conflicts with nature, but just to increase in internal supporting nature.
Ja.
Ja,
und es ist wirklich Aufgabe jedes Einzelnen.
Yes.
Es sind nicht nur Communities, es sind nicht nur Parteien oder große
It is every
Ländereien.
human being
es
and
ist
it's
jeder
every human
Einzelne,
being. Yes, exactly.
Da drin angesprochen.
Individually, yes.
So ist,
Very, very important,
Allerdings.
Yes, so I wish and I send you the internal growing and to really understand also the beauty of nature and what nature wants to tell you.
Und dies auch wirklich anzuerkennen.
Exactly.
Diese ewige Schönheit.
Yes,
diese ewige Schönheit der Natur, die uns auch den Lebensboden überhaupt schenkt, dass wir sein können. Und ich denke, wir dürfen diesen Podcast auch beenden mit, Sie haben es mir mal so schön gesagt, es ist wichtiger zu sein, denn zu haben.
Yes, it is, you know, I know that you are saying in your world, go with the flow, but you are looking to the external flow and you're not looking to the internal flow. And you need to understand and go with the internal flow, yes.
Richtig.
Yeah, so thank you so much and hear and speak to you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.